Today I'm coming to you from along the Arizona Trail. I'm doing the section just north of the Gila River, north of Kearney, and just doing a one-night, pleasant little overnight. Nothing too serious.
Combining expert content on outdoor adventures with videography tips and tutorials. Visual Adventures with Kurt Papke.
And this video is all about cheese powder to be exact. I'm a cheesehead. I was born and raised in West Allis, Wisconsin, and went to university in Madison. So I spent the first 25 years of my life in Wisconsin, so I think I qualify as a cheesehead. So this is the cheese powder that we're going to be using. Trying to show it to you without tipping it out of the little 1-cup Nalgene here. Well, it's cooling down quick here on the Arizona Trail. We're towards the end of January and it gets pretty chilly here in Arizona this time of year. Supposed to get below freezing tonight, so I'm going to have something hearty. I'm going to have cheesy couscous. So what I have in the bag here is a half a cup of couscous and 3 tablespoons of cheese powder and 1 tablespoon of Nido whole milk powder. And I'm going to cook this up. I'm going to add some sun-dried tomatoes to it for a little extra flavor. This is the favorite recipe for the children of the woman who invented freezer bag cooking. She said her kids just can eat this every night of the week. And it's mac and cheese, except it's made with couscous instead of macaroni. And macaroni you got to boil for 10 minutes, and couscous you add boiling water and you're done. So speaking of which, let's get the jet boil boiling here. So I'm going to add these sun-dried tomatoes. These are great for the trail. You can get them at pretty much any grocery store, and they don't really need cooking. They just need to soak in a little bit of water. And then for my protein, I'm going to have bacon bits. These have gotten really inexpensive, really good in the past few years here. And the package is a little too much for the meal tonight, but I can add this to my eggs tomorrow morning and finish it up tomorrow morning with my eggs. So I'm not going to add this until after I've added the boiling water. I don't want to water down the bacon. So let's see how we're doing here. We're almost to a boil. And as soon as that's boiling, I'm going to pour that into this freezer bag with the cheesy couscous. And I'm at a boil here. So let's go ahead and add our boiling water to our cheesy couscous. And one of the nice things about making this in a freezer bag is we can put it inside the jet boil here to use as a cozy. It's a preheated cozy. In addition to the stuff we already have in there, I am going to add a little bit of ghee as a fat. Ghee is clarified butter. I have a video showing you how to make ghee. It's not all that tough, but in this case I did buy it from the grocery store. But let's go ahead and add a little bit of that ghee in there, and that'll melt pretty darn quickly without any problems. Let's go ahead and add our protein, our bacon bits. We'll just dump that in to taste. Maybe half of this little 3-ounce bag here. I got that at my local Kroger store. That's thickening up nicely. That couscous is absorbing all that hot boiling water. So let's go ahead and zip that back up, put that down inside so it stays nice and toasty. And while that's finishing cooking, I can go ahead and have a little nip of tequila. I always like to carry these vapor soft-sided bags. Are specifically made for liquor. and I have a whole video on trail cocktails. But this is a constant companion with me. It's one of my my trusted pieces of gear. It comes with me on every trip, and I always like to have just a little nip before dinner while things are cooking up. And the couscous only takes, I don't know, maybe a minute or two to completely rehydrate and puff up and soak up all the water and the ghee and so on in there. And then we're ready to go. We can just, as I showed in my short 1-minute video about using the jet boil, we can fold the top of the freezer bag over, and here we have our cheesy couscous with sun-dried tomatoes and bacon. Here we go. Let's have some of this and try it out. Probably pretty hot. Boy, that cheesy flavor, the sun-dried tomatoes and the bacon in there, that is really a hearty meal. That'll fill you up on the trail. That'll get you going for putting on another 20 miles on the trail tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So I'm just coming to the end of my cheesy couscous here. This meal is a real keeper. It is satisfying, and it's healthy. The sun-dried tomatoes give you some vegetables. The bacon bits give it some flavor and some electrolytes. Very, very filling. This was a half a cup of couscous and 1 cup of water, and boy, I'm getting really, really stuffed here. So keep this recipe in mind for on the trail. It's extremely inexpensive and very easy to prepare at home. You just put all the ingredients together in a Ziploc freezer bag, and you are good to go.
Well, good morning. I'm here in the Superstition Wilderness at the first water site. And this morning we're going to have some cheesy grits. I've got 2 packets of butter flavor, artificially flavored instant grits that I picked up at Walmart. And 2 of these is about the right amount for me. And then I've got a couple tablespoons of cheese powder and a couple teaspoons of Nido instant whole milk in the bag here. And what I do is I put everything into a Ziploc bag and put the grits in there so I've got everything together in my Ursack here. So the first step, it's half a cup of water per package. So I need about a cup of water here in my jet boil. There's my cup of water, and I'll add just a little extra for the sauce there. Need it just a little bit runnier in order to get the cheese powder to rehydrate. And now I'll go ahead and light up my jet boil. The igniters on these jet boils are not very reliable, and this one is totally defunct. And unfortunately, jet boil has stopped selling replacements, and the new versions of the jet boils don't even have igniters on them. The new ultralight version of the jet boil has no igniter at all. You have to use a lighter. So I'll go ahead and open these packages of grits here. Get all this stuff going. I'm actually going to make this in this freezer bag. So I don't have any cleanup. One of the questions that often comes up is, are these safe to cook in? And they are. I mean, you can't actually apply a flame to the bottom or anything like that, but if you put boiling water in a Ziploc bag, it'll be just fine, no problems. Some people are concerned about plastic chemicals leaching into their food or whatever, but you know, I don't do this often enough. It's not like I'm eating out of a Ziploc bag every single day. This is a pretty rare occasion for me, if you will. So I'm not too concerned about any chemical side effects. We'll give this a little bit of a mix here with the dry ingredients. And you can put other things in here if you want. Grits aren't particularly a high nutrition food, but with the cheese in there, the cheese adds a little bit. The Nido is full fat, so there's actually a little bit of fat in here, but if you add a little bit of olive oil or ghee, a little bit of extra fat will even improve the flavor even more. So now I'm just waiting for my water to come to a boil here. I think we're almost there. Got to make sure you got a full boil here. These are instant grits, so they don't really require any cooking. They require maybe a 5-minute rehydration sitting time once you've added the boiling water. But you don't actually have to cook these instant grits. That's what it's kind of like instant oatmeal, you know, where you really don't have to cook it. And if you let it sit for a while, it'll actually get a pretty nice consistency. So my water is just starting to come to a boil here. So let's go ahead and add our water. There we go. And now I'll go ahead and put that right back into the jet boil. And the nice thing about this, with the freezer bag inside the jet boil, it fits perfectly, at least inside the old PCS ones here. And you can kind of peel back the top of the Ziploc here, and now it acts kind of like a liner. So now I'm mixing up my grits in here, and it takes a little bit of effort to get everything to dissolve properly. You don't want any nasty lumps or chunks of cheese or grits or anything like that. So make sure you mix this up properly. Give it a little time to rehydrate here. So there's our breakfast this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. I'll zip the Ziploc shut, tuck that back down in there, and put the cover on, and now this acts like a cozy for my meal here. And now we'll let that sit back and rest for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and have a little taste. All right, our 5 minutes have gone by and our grits have rehydrated nicely. This is what they look like when they're all done. They're a little bit runny. I added a little too much extra water, but let's go ahead and give them a taste here. Really good flavor. You know, the combination of grits are, of course, made out of corn, and cheese and corn really works well together. So this is really a very hearty breakfast, very flavorful. Grits by themselves don't have a whole lot of flavor, so when you add the cheese to them, it makes a huge difference. So cheesy grits on the trail in the Superstition Wilderness in Arizona.